Hi, today I'm going to go through an assignment, a reflection journal assignment located in the second week of the course. Start out with the first page here. You may see this to-do list, and you can follow assignments that pop up on here. But as always, I'm going to recommend that you go to the modules tab on the left. You can click right here, or you can use my hyperlink here. But we're going to go to the modules. I'm going to skip past the start here in week 1 because we're on week 2. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at kind of the overview of the course, my introduction, the objective, what kind of things am I going to be expected to do this week, identify elements of narration, description, use narration and description as a method of development, and brainstorm and narrow topics for writing. Make sure that I've done all the reading and I've watched any of the videos or clicked on these hyperlinks. And then you see that I have this reflection journal. What's that? Click on that so I can see the full set of directions. The directions say I will write for 10 minutes on a given topic or question supplied in the journal. In most cases, the topic will relate to readings from the Common Read, with the exception of first and last journals. I may find it helpful to review an example, a short short essay, question, and expectations for completing one in the syllabus before I begin this. So if you remember from the syllabus, I've given you a lot of extra resources, and in particular, I have a thing in there that talks about how to help write a short essay answer. My grading for this, I should have a topic sense, and what exactly does that mean? Well, it says I should rephrase all or part of the original question or topic. So whatever that question I have, I should be including that as kind of the very first thing in my writing. Now, I'm only going to be writing a single paragraph. I guess I didn't make that quite clear up here, but I'm only going to be writing one paragraph. As I go down further, development of that paragraph, I have to have general statements along with specific evidence. I'll show you in a minute what that means. And then the very last sentence of my paragraph should include a summary or concluding sentence. So what that means is that is a sentence, the very last sentence, is going to mimic that topic sentence. So if you remember, I just set up here is rephrasing part of that question. So the very last sentence in my paragraph should again be kind of rephrasing that question. Summarizing the whole thing, so that the reader, by the time they get to the end, they're reminded one last time why they read what this paragraph is all about. Okay, so my 2 examples here. The very first example, we're going to imagine that, and I'm showing you for the very first reflection journal. So the very first one, you're going to have to write about characteristics of teachers, things that you've liked best or least of teachers that you've had. And so here, I like teachers who have had certain characteristics, but I don't like teachers with other characteristics. So good thing that a student has repeated that particular question. So using the question and the sense, that gives them 2 points. I like a teacher who cares about each student. Okay, so that's a general statement. Say that's general because what do you mean? How do they care? How do I know that that's not someone just saying, well, you know, the teacher gave me a bad grade, so they don't care about me. I need evidence. So I also like a teacher who keeps the class from becoming boring. Okay, what's that mean? Why is it boring? How is it boring? Is it boring because the teacher just talks? Is it boring because I'm not really into the subject? Is it boring because I don't understand what we're supposed to be doing? Again, why, how? So this is a general statement. On the other hand, I do not like a teacher who lectures for a whole class period. Okay, so that kind of helps out. Explain what's boring. When I have the words other hand, that suggests to me that that's not continue explaining that, but rather something else. While I do not like teachers who lecture, neither do I like teachers who have annoying habits. Okay, again, what kind of habits? All of these are very general statements. So if I were looking at the development of the paragraph, if I were grading this, I would probably not give it any points, or maybe only 1 point. So we go from 2, maybe 3 points at most. Now those characteristics distinguish the teachers from the ones I like from the ones I don't. Okay, so I go back up here. It says revised. Okay, so that's revised. That would be 2 points. So you can see, now I say worth 4 points here. Maybe I would say 5 points on the high end, 4 points on the low end. That's just primarily because we don't have enough developed throughout the rest of the paragraph. Now this one does a much better job of that. We get the 2 points for having that topic sentence that repeats the question, the 2 points for the summative concluding sentence that repeats the question, and then we're going to get all the points, full 6 points, because we have plenty of general statements. So I like teachers who care about each student. That's a general statement. And then more specifically, Mrs. H was one of those teachers. Okay, so that's another general statement, but it supports this one. Mrs. H took the time to find out how each student learned best and then took their approach with the student. So these are still fairly general statements. You can see that each one is kind of adding a little bit more to the previous statement. And then we finally get down here. For example, she found out that I learned easily when I had diagrams. So when she was helping me with American history, she drew a timeline that helped me see events in relation to one another. Mr. L showed that he cared about the students by never telling. So very, very specific, a single kind of moment or a single kind of example of how Mrs. H cares about students. So we have general statements that continue to build off one another, followed by a very specific example. And then if we read through this, you kind of see that the student has continued to do that as a whole. So that's why this is worth 10 points. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I can click next at the bottom. This is a discussion post. We won't talk about that in this video. Okay, my reflection journal. How do I start this? I'm going to go down here. It says take the quiz. Click on it. Now I have my directions, and then here's my topic, what to write about. What do I like best? What do I like least and best about teachers I've had? Use examples. So that's kind of like what we were just talking about. So here, I'm going to just, and I have 10 minutes to write out. And so I'm going to type out my answer. I'm going to start with rephrasing that first that question. So I might say, many teachers while in school, just like many of you, I'm struggling to kind of come up with an idea here, but we'll get through it. While in school, I have had several teachers that I like and some I did not. So I'm not going to type this whole thing out. You don't want to stay here for 10 minutes while I type it out, but as you can see, as I'm writing, I've made a few kind of adjustments or changes. You can certainly do that if you know that you're a fairly quick typer. But if it takes you a while to write, I would just go ahead and go through this as much as you can with one attempt, and then make your changes afterwards with any remaining time that you have. Don't worry about making those changes necessarily as you go. If you're wondering about how much time you have, always up at the top right-hand corner here, you'll see kind of the remaining time. Don't panic about that. Just use that to help give you an indication of, should you continue with the paragraph, or should you be spending some time fixing spelling, grammar errors. Anyway, once you have something typed, you just simply go down at the bottom, hit submit, and that's it. So, and it'll tell you how long it took, and then once I have a chance to review it as an instructor, you'll see a grade there. We'll have several of these throughout the semester, and each one will have a slightly different topic to write on. But that is how you are going to complete the reflection journals.